The Incredible Hulk, 1977 to 1982, captivated audiences with thrilling action sequences and unforgettable characters, but behind the scenes, the lives of its cast were filled with tragedies beyond imagination. From relentless struggles and personal hardships to shocking, untimely deaths and incurable illnesses, the real-life stories of these actors are as haunting as they are heartbreaking. Many faced battles far greater than any their on-screen characters endured, career setbacks, devastating losses, and fates that would leave even the most devoted Hulk fans in shock. They once shined brightly on screen, but their real lives were marked by pain and suffering that few ever knew. In this gripping journey, we uncover the hidden sorrows, the untold struggles, and the heartbreaking endings that cast a dark shadow over the legacy of the Incredible Hulk. These revelations will forever change the way you see the iconic series. Bill Bixby, born January 22, 1934, was the heart and soul of the Incredible Hulk, portraying the tormented Dr. David Banner across all 82 episodes of the series. A versatile actor with a career spanning television, film, and stage, Bixby was known for his roles in My Favorite Martian and The Courtship of Eddie's Father before embodying the tragic scientist whose life was forever altered by a gamma radiation accident. However, his own life was marked by misfortune and sorrow that eerily mirrored the struggles of his on-screen persona. Bixby endured an unimaginable series of personal losses. His 6-year-old son, Christopher, died suddenly of a rare throat infection in 1981, sending him into a deep depression from which he never fully recovered. His first marriage to actress Brenda Benet, already strained by personal differences, disintegrated under the weight of their son's death. Tragically, just a year later, Benet took her own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in their home. Bixby sought solace in his work, directing and acting in television, but his own health began to fail. In 1991, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a battle he fought quietly and with dignity. Though he remarried shortly before his death, his final years were marked by physical decline. He passed away on November 21, 1993, at the age of 59, only days after completing his final directorial work. A man whose life was dedicated to bringing joy to others, he left the world with an unshakable legacy, yet his personal story remains one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking tragedies. Bruce Wright, born in the early 20th century, though little is documented about his exact birth date, played Ben in The Incredible Hulk, appearing in 3 episodes between 1979 and 1981. Unlike many of his co-stars, Wright never achieved widespread recognition, instead becoming one of Hollywood's many dependable yet largely unsung character actors. His career included small but steady roles in television throughout the 1960s and 1970s, though he never quite broke into the mainstream. His personal life remains shrouded in mystery. Whether by choice or circumstance, Wright kept a low profile, avoiding the scandals and publicized heartbreaks that often accompanied a Hollywood career. Information about his relationships, family, and later years is scarce, leaving an air of intrigue about what became of him. Some actors fade from the public consciousness not because they failed, but because they chose to step away. Wright's legacy, though quiet, remains embedded in the countless roles he played, characters that, while small, helped build the worlds of television that audiences came to love. Jack Colvin, born October 13, 1932, played the relentless reporter Jack McGee, the ever-persistent antagonist to Banner's desperate fugitive in The Incredible Hulk. Inspired by real-life investigative journalist Carl Kolchak, Colvin's portrayal of McGee gave the series a sense of suspense and realism, as he tirelessly pursued the secret of the Hulk with an almost obsessive drive. While audiences knew him as the determined journalist, few knew the struggles and hardships he faced off-screen. A lifelong character actor, Colvin never achieved the same level of fame as his co-stars, spending much of his career in supporting roles across television and film. Though he found steady work, personal fulfillment eluded him. He kept his private life intensely guarded, leaving much speculation about his relationships and romantic affairs. Friends described him as deeply intellectual yet somewhat reclusive, often preferring the company of books and art over the glitz of Hollywood. In his later years, he turned to teaching, becoming a respected acting coach, but his health began to fail. Suffering a series of strokes, Colvin retreated from public life, and on December 1, 2005, he passed away at the age of 73 due to complications from a stroke. Though his character McGee was often seen as a thorn in Banner's side, Colvin's contribution to the series was undeniable, and his presence in Hollywood remains quietly significant, a dedicated artist whose final years were spent in solitude and reflection. Mark Alimo, born May 5, 1942, left his mark on The Incredible Hulk as Captain Holt, appearing in 3 episodes between 1978 and 1980. But his true claim to fame came later, as the villainous Ghoul Dukat in Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, a role that cemented him as one of sci-fi's most memorable antagonists. Alimo's chiseled features and commanding presence made him a natural fit for playing tough, often morally ambiguous characters. His career spanned decades, with guest roles in everything from Knight Rider to Total Recall, but despite his professional success, his personal life was far from smooth. Alimo's romantic relationships were marked by turbulence. His marriage ended in divorce, and while details of his private life remain largely out of the public eye, those close to him described him as a man deeply devoted to his work, sometimes at the cost of personal happiness. As he aged, Hollywood opportunities dwindled, and he largely stepped away from acting, making only rare appearances at fan conventions. Now in his 80s, he enjoys a quieter life, though his portrayal of villains continues to be celebrated by devoted fans. In many ways, his legacy is split between the larger-than-life characters he played and the quieter, more solitary existence he now leads. Charles Napier, born April 12, 1936, was a powerhouse of a character actor, lending his deep, commanding voice to one of the most iconic figures in television history, the Hulk himself. Though he only provided the voice for the Raging Green Behemoth in a handful of episodes between 1979 and 1982, his unmistakable growls and roars gave life to the monstrous side of Dr. David Banner. Beyond The Incredible Hulk, Napier built a career playing gruff, authoritative figures in films like Rambo, First Blood Part 2 and The Silence of the Lambs, where his booming presence made him a favorite among casting directors. But despite his success, his personal life was often turbulent, marked by broken relationships and a restless, wandering spirit. Romantically, Napier never seemed to find true happiness. Though he married twice, both marriages ended in divorce, and he often spoke of the difficulties of maintaining a stable home life in Hollywood. He was a man who carried his struggles alone, masking any inner turmoil behind his tough exterior. As he aged, his health began to deteriorate, and in 2011, he suffered a sudden collapse at his home. Rushed to the hospital, he died on October 5, 2011, at the age of 75 from complications related to blood clots. A man who had played some of the toughest characters on screen, Napier's final years were spent in relative quiet, away from the Hollywood spotlight that had both made him and, in many ways, left him behind. Laurie Prange, born January 26, 1952, played Katie Maxwell in The Incredible Hulk, appearing in 3 episodes between 1977 and 1980. A talented actress with a knack for playing emotionally complex characters, Prange found steady work in television throughout the 1970s and 1980s, making guest appearances in shows like The Waltons and Fantasy Island. However, her career never fully reached the heights many expected, and Hollywood, always fickle, slowly moved on. Romantically, Prange's life was not without struggle. While she managed to avoid the tabloid drama that plagued many of her peers, she reportedly experienced heartbreak and disappointment in relationships that never seemed to bring her lasting happiness. Unlike some of her contemporaries, she eventually stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight, retreating into a quieter life. Today, she remains largely out of the public eye, with little information about her current activities. Whether by choice or circumstance, her story is one of fleeting fame, a reminder that in Hollywood, even the most promising stars can fade into obscurity, leaving behind only fragments of their time in the limelight. Walter Brooke, born October 23, 1914, had one of those faces audiences recognized but often couldn't place. A veteran character actor, he brought a dignified presence to the role of Mark Roberts in The Incredible Hulk, appearing in 3 episodes between 1980 and 1981. But Brooke was best known for a single line that cemented his place in cinematic history: "I just want to say one word to you. Just one word, plastics." As Mr. Maguire in The Graduate, 1967, Brooke unwittingly gave one of the most quoted lines in film history, a moment that overshadowed much of his long and varied career. Despite his professional accomplishments, Brooks' personal life remained largely private. He was married to Yvonne White, and though their relationship lasted, it was not without its hardships, particularly as Hollywood's shifting landscape left fewer roles for aging actors. He continued to work in television sporadically, but by the late 1980s, his health began to fail. After battling a prolonged illness, he passed away on August 20, 1986, at the age of 71. While his name may not be widely remembered, his contributions to film and television remain a quiet testament to a career spent shaping the stories of others, even as his own story faded into obscurity. Charlie Pickerney, born December 19, 1935, made his mark in The Incredible Hulk as Charlie, appearing in 2 episodes between 1978 and 1981. But his real legacy isn't in front of the camera, it's behind the scenes, where he built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most respected stunt coordinators and second-unit directors. His work extended far beyond The Incredible Hulk, shaping action-packed films like Die Hard 2 and Lethal Weapon 2, where his precision and expertise brought high-octane sequences to life. Yet, while he excelled in choreographing danger on screen, his personal life wasn't always as controlled. The demands of a stunt career, long hours, high-risk maneuvers, and constant travel, put immense strain on his family life. Married for many years, Pickerney often found himself torn between his passion for filmmaking and the responsibilities of home. Though not known for high-profile scandals, his devotion to his work sometimes created distance between him and his loved ones. Now in his late 80s, Pickerney remains a respected name in Hollywood, occasionally consulting on projects, though the years of physical wear and tear have taken their toll. Age has slowed him, but his contributions to film and television remain undeniable, a legacy of breathtaking action sequences that will outlive him. Don Marshall, born May 2, 1936, was a trailblazing actor who brought intelligence and quiet strength to his roles, including his portrayal of a doctor in 3 episodes of The Incredible Hulk between 1978 and 1980. Best known for his groundbreaking work in Land of the Giants, 1968 to 1970, Marshall was among the few black actors in Hollywood during the 1960s and 1970s to secure leading and recurring roles in major productions. He fought against racial typecasting, advocating for more complex and dignified roles for black actors in an era when such opportunities were scarce. Despite his professional success, Marshall's personal life was often lonely. He had a son, but his relationships never seemed to bring him lasting happiness. He was known as a private man, rarely discussing the struggles he faced in Hollywood, where the industry's systemic barriers made his career an uphill battle. In his later years, he largely retreated from acting, occasionally appearing at fan conventions but living in relative obscurity. He passed away on October 30, 2016, at the age of 80, after struggling with heart disease. Though his name is not always remembered alongside Hollywood's biggest stars, his contributions to breaking racial barriers in television remain undeniable, a legacy built on resilience and quiet determination. Gerald McRaney, born August 19, 1947, played Chief Frank Rhodes in 4 episodes of The Incredible Hulk between 1977 and 1980, but his career stretches far beyond guest appearances. A seasoned television actor, McRaney found lasting fame with leading roles in Simon & Simon and Major Dad, later proving his dramatic range in Deadwood and This Is Us, where he earned an Emmy. While his professional life flourished, his personal life was marked by turbulent relationships and painful lessons. McRaney has been married 3 times, with each relationship bringing its own share of heartache. His first 2 marriages ended in divorce, marred by the pressures of Hollywood and personal struggles. His 3rd marriage to actress Delta Burke, best known for Designing Women, has been his most enduring, though not without hardship. Burke's well-documented battles with weight gain and health issues placed stress on their relationship, yet McRaney stood by her side, proving that even in the tumultuous world of Hollywood, loyalty still exists. At this stage in his life, McRaney remains an in-demand character actor, but he has faced his own health struggles, including a battle with lung cancer. Still, he continues to work, defying age and adversity, proving that some careers, and some loves, can stand the test of time. Mickey Jones, born June 10, 1941, had a face, and a beard, that made him instantly recognizable, even if audiences didn't always remember his name. As Doc in The Incredible Hulk, He appeared in 3 episodes between 1978 and 1981, but his real legacy stretched far beyond acting. Before finding his way to Hollywood, Jones had a successful career as a drummer, playing with Bob Dylan during his infamous 1966 Electric Tour and later joining Kenny Rogers and the First Edition. His transition from music to acting led to an extensive career as a character actor, with roles in Total Recall, 1990, Sling Blade, 1996, and Justified, 2011 to 2014. But beneath his rugged, affable exterior, Jones faced personal battles. His longtime marriage to his wife, Phyllis Jean Starr, endured, but not without struggles, as his demanding career often kept him away from home. His health began to deteriorate in his later years, and after suffering from complications related to diabetes, he passed away on February 7, 2018, at the age of 76. Though he was never a leading man, his presence in both music and film made him a beloved figure, one whose impact was felt more deeply than his quiet departure from the world might suggest. Lou Ferrigno, born November 9, 1951, will forever be known as the man who physically embodied the Incredible Hulk, bringing raw power and intensity to the character across all 82 episodes of the beloved series from 1977 to 1982. Born with profound hearing loss, Ferrigno's childhood was marked by bullying and isolation, but he channeled his frustrations into bodybuilding, eventually becoming Mr. Universe before stepping into the role that made him famous. While the show turned him into a household name, his life was far from the glamorous superhero fantasy fans imagined. Behind the scenes, Ferrigno's relationships were often fraught with tension. His first marriage, to Susan Groff, was short-lived, ending in divorce. His second marriage to Carla Green, who later became his manager, has lasted, but not without its challenges, as the pressures of maintaining a career in Hollywood took their toll. Professionally, Ferrigno struggled to break out of the Hulk's shadow, often typecast in similar strongman roles, though he found new life in voice acting and fitness training. He remains active in the public eye, making appearances at conventions and continuing to train religiously, but controversies, such as his brief stint as a deputy sheriff and public feuds with other celebrities, have kept his name in the headlines for reasons beyond his acting career. Despite these ups and downs, Ferrigno has embraced his legacy, never straying too far from the green-skinned giant that made him an icon. What do you think about the lives, careers, and tragic deaths of the actors from The Incredible Hulk? Which one do you remember the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos.